So welcome to the Simplify Motherhood webinar from Country Doulas. My name is Lis Mitchell, and I'm a mom of 3 kids, an 8-year-old, 5-year-old, and a 2-year-old, and I'm a postpartum doula and a birth doula and a placenta encapsulator. And this webinar is for moms of all stages, from trying to conceive to expecting your first or second or fourth child to already in the throes of life with kids, to try and think about some of the things that might be nice to think about ahead of time to plan for as smooth of a transition to motherhood as possible. There's some aspects of that might not be the most smooth or the most desirable, but there's a lot that you can do just mentally to prepare for having a child or for your life with a baby, that can really make your life more simple and more enjoyable. So we're going to talk about some of those things tonight. And if you have any questions, you can just pop them into the sidebar chat. And if I don't see them right away, I'll come back and revisit it in just a bit. Okay. I'm going to share my screen now, so it might look funky for a second, and then it should look all good. Okay, can you just tell me, can you see the Simplify Motherhood screenshot?
Yep, I can see it.
Okay, great. So thanks for being here, and for anyone that's not here live on the call, this will be posted on YouTube, and feel free to ask any questions in a thread or reach out to us at Country Doulas. We want to support you to have a smooth and peaceful and beautiful transition into becoming a mom. We believe that it's one of the most important transitional times of life, and we want to help you enjoy it. So as moms, we are really, and as women in the world, we are really used to being tough and being able to just power through anything, and being independent and maybe not complaining or not asking for help. But after birth, allow yourself to be supported. Allow people to help you. Giving birth is such a huge output of energy. Just the process of giving birth, no matter how you give birth, there is some amount of trauma in the process. And we don't have to deny that. Even if we have an amazing, empowered birth of our choice, there is still some element of a traumatic experience to it, perhaps, just in the fact that our life changes so quickly. So allow yourself to be supported. Don't downplay any emotional or physical changes that you might be feeling. We culturally put a lot of emphasis on the pregnancy time period, those first 9 months of gestation, but it doesn't stop after our baby's born. We're still changing at such a rapid fire rate. And we need help, and we also need good boundaries and sometimes space and to be gentle and honest with ourselves about our needs. So for you, the support may look like a mom or a sister or an aunt, or it might look like a trusted circle of friends. It might come from your childbirth ed group, especially for emotional support. It can be so nice to talk with other moms who have been there. It might be your longtime friends, even if they don't have kids, that you can take a walk with and be honest with. Or it could be from a doula or from an in-home visitor. If your community has those, just people that can help you do seemingly simple tasks so that you can rest or shower or nap or have somebody to talk to that helps you feel like you. It's so important. So you can, I always recommend for moms to kind of like jot down in pregnancy some of the ways that they like to feel supported, because that's different for all of us. So for some of us, it might be like, I feel supported when I go out for girls' nights. And other people might say like, I feel supported when my husband like cooks dinner for me or takes out the trash without me having to ask, or I'm really worried about like giving my dog the attention that they might need, or I'm really worried about being home all the time and I'm going to want to be out, or I really want to be around other moms. Like there's so many different ways that we might feel supported. It could be a massage, a bath, good sleep, time alone. It's worthwhile in your pregnancy before the baby is born to kind of jot down some of those things and then have conversations with your partner or with your mom, or if they feel like safe people, or with some of your friends or a doula, to see how can I organize this in my new life. Oops, I zoomed ahead. Okay, so planning for the future. Again, a lot of the baby books really either focus on your baby's development. Okay, so the baby books focus on that, or like the natural pregnancy or even non-natural pregnancy books, like they're going to focus mostly on the pregnancy and the birth. But what about you as the future you after you have a baby? Like what are you going to look like? So again, thinking about your personal passions and also the things that you're responsible for. So that could be your work. And a lot of times, hopefully, our work and our passions might fall in the same category. What are the roles that you perform in your family and in your community? What are the things that you love that make you feel like you? And how can you think about incorporating your baby into that lifestyle? So planning for the future you and the future baby. So some practical ways to think about this is like, if you're somebody who loves to run, you're probably going to want to have a good jogging stroller. If you're somebody that loves to hike, you might want to have a backpack for places that you can't take a jogging stroller. If you're somebody who loves to swim, you can look into your local pools to see if there's any newborn swim classes, or like if you love to do yoga, maybe there's some mom and me yoga classes. If you're a massage person, talking to your massage therapist, or even if you're not a massage person and you have some massage therapist friends, sometimes they will accommodate bringing your breastfeeding baby with you and like letting the baby sleep and then bringing them to you if you need to nurse, things like that, so that you can bring yourself, the parts of yourself that make you feel like you, into your new self with your baby. But there's also the likelihood that there's some things that you love to do that you can't really do with a baby. And it's okay to feel some amount of loss with that and to grieve for that. And it's also okay and a good idea to plan for some of that. So thinking about like, who are some of the people, or what are some of the ways that you can still do some of the things that you maybe love? Like maybe you're a woodworker or a writer or a horseback rider, or you just want to work out on your own without a baby attached to you. You can still enjoy these things. You just have to be a little bit creative about like, when's the best time in the postpartum period that I can start to reasonably expect leaving my baby for a couple hours, getting to know any resources in your community like babysitters, or if your gym provides childcare. What kind of age range does that need to be at? Talking with your partner, maybe arranging like this night of the week, I'm going to know that I'm going to be able to have off. My partner's going to be able to help me with the baby, or like if you have a family friend or family member that can help you with that. It can be hard to think about leaving your baby, and it can also be hard to think about leaving these parts of yourself behind. So it's just a really great thing to think about before you're in the moment and feeling like I can't do anything that I want to do anymore. Like, how can you plan for it ahead of time? And just knowing that you don't actually have to give up on your hopes and dreams, whether that's your career dreams or your art or your workout or the things that matter most to you, being in nature, because you have a parent. You just have, or because you are a parent, sorry, because you have a baby. You just have to adjust things and adjust your own expectations, but also adjust your life a little bit to make room for this new person and make room for yourself also. It's also always really good to remember that a happy mom is a better mom. A happy mom can take care of her baby better. And we can talk a little bit more about that in another slide or at the end too. Oh, hi, someone else is here. Hi, I'm Liz. And it's nice to have you here. We're in the Simplify Motherhood webinar, and anything that we've skipped before will be posted on our YouTube channel and also emailed to you in just a bit. Okay, so trust your partner. If you have a partner, it can be surprising how much your relationship can change after you have a baby. It's common for moms to be really attached to their baby, though I think it is a myth that's worth mentioning, that we're kind of told that we're going to immediately be in love with our baby and bonding with them right away. And for some moms, it's not uncommon for it to take a bit of time because you're two people getting to know each other for the very first time. But if you're breastfeeding, there's hormonal changes. There is just a relatively normal idea that moms are going to be spending more of their time with the baby, and a lot of times your baby needs you more and you need your baby more, and so you just are spending more time with them than your partner is. So then maybe when your partner comes in, you don't always love the way that they're preparing the bottle, or that they're changing the diaper, or that they get to go to work and you have to stay home all the time and help somebody who's crying and pooping on you and spitting up on you, and you didn't sleep last night. Like, being jealous of your partner going to work is a normal feeling that happens. And all these things are going to impact the way that you come to the relationship with your partner, as well as like sleep deprivation is a huge thing that's going to impact the relationship. But it's also challenging for dads too, or other moms. It's hard for partners. So aside from them aiding you through your pregnancy and labor and learning all the ropes that come to learning a new baby's needs, they're also trying to take care of you emotionally and physically. And a lot of times this is completely new terrain for them, because if we think that postpartum depression and anxiety isn't talked about enough among moms, it's like definitely not talked about a lot among dads. And a lot of times they don't even know what's within the realm of normal physically or emotionally. So they're just like in completely brand new ground and feeling like they have to still be a provider. And so it can be hard for partners. So I share all of this to say, like, we can know that it's going to be destabilizing for both of us in the relationship, and therefore try to plan for some things to maintain a even ground, a smoother ground, a steadier ground. And the first of these things is good sleep. So sleeping is not a luxury, especially when you're a parent, but for any human being, sleeping is a basic necessity, and it's something that can be really hard to come by when you're a new parent. Um, so sleeping in shifts is something that a lot of parents will do, and it can just help to stabilize the relationship if you're both getting some amount of sleep. So the way this looks for some parents is like dad likes to stay up late at night. So mom tries to go to sleep as early as get in bed as 7 or 8, and dad is on that first shift. And if you can go to bed and not have your cell phone or the TV on, like actually turn off the lights and try to go to bed. And then when your partner takes the next shift, like maybe after midnight, you will have hopefully gotten a few hours in, and then you might switch again. So other families might like take turns with naps, particularly on the weekends when our partners might be home more. But talk to your partner before you have a baby, before you're sleep deprived, about how you can both focus on sleep. And it takes a certain amount of time to be able to fall asleep. And we also can know as new parents that it's likely for us to get woken up once we are asleep. So sometimes we have to stay in bed longer in order to just get a shorter amount of time. So you might have to stay in bed. I always tell new moms, you might actually have to stay in bed for a 12-hour period of time in order to get an 8-hour amount of sleep with the wake ups. And that's not always doable, but as often as you can prioritize sleep, it's going to help you be in a better mood. It's going to help your partner be in a better mood. So it's going to help you guys both be able to communicate and connect better. Irritability is worsened by dehydration and also by hunger. So make sure that you're staying hydrated, especially if you're a nursing mom. Your body needs more water than when you were pregnant. And even if you're not nursing, in the first couple of weeks postpartum, there's a huge change in the amount of fluids in the body. So you're going to just need a lot of water. Your husband is too, or your wife, your partner is going to need more water too. And as far as food goes, yes, hunger increases irritability, but so does sugar crashes or caffeine crashes. So trying to be mindful about what you eat and eating protein, that's going to be the most stabilizing. Calcium, fruits and veggies, something that's going to fill you up and like ground you and hold you over. And enjoy the little things. So there's going to be challenging moments. That's inevitable, but try to enjoy the little things between each other, whether that's like taking a 10-minute walk outside together or acknowledging your baby's milestones together, or acknowledging with gratitude that you're getting to sit at the table and have a meal or a drink or just a few minutes together without someone crying whenever that happens, or someone in your lap or asking you for something. So they come in small doses, but if you can both work together to honor and be grateful for the small moments, it really can tide you over and help you feel like you're on a team. So you are a team, and communicating with each other is huge. Communicating when you're hydrated and have slept well and eaten something preferably, and perhaps with sharing something you're grateful for, but also checking in with each other. How are you doing? I noticed you didn't get a good night's sleep last night. How is it going back to work? Are you worried about something? And as moms, like, you moms are mostly who's listening to this, but like it is okay and advisable to tell your partner, hey, I'm just thinking about the postpartum time, or we're already in the postpartum time. And I've noticed that like we're both so caught up in our own worlds and our own sleep deprivation. And, we're just not feeling connected at all. And I want to connect with you. And the way that I'm going to try and do that is like, I want to hear how you're doing. And I want you to ask me how I'm doing. It's not that I just need to complain, but I need to be able to be honest with you because you're my partner. Having those conversations up front, if you're able to, so that you both know that they're coming in the next phase of your life and your relationship, can be really helpful. And I also just want to mention in this part that 1 in 10 dads experience a postpartum mood disorder, and 1 in 7 moms experience a postpartum mood disorder. And this can be indicative of sadness, but it can also be irritability, anger, unable to get good sleep when you have the opportunity to sleep, loss of appetite, or just a change of appetite and a change of sleep, moodiness, anxiety, bad thoughts that just won't go away. And it is normal for moms to have some experience of what's called the baby blues. 80% of moms experience this in the first 2 weeks after giving birth. And this is a huge hormonal shift in our lives that can definitely lead to some sadness, crying, irritability, snapping at things. Obviously, the sleep deprivation is going to be probably at its greatest point in that time, perhaps. But if it persists beyond 2 or 3 weeks, or even if it just feels like too extreme and you're not comfortable, or you're not comfortable with how your partner's feeling, or your partner is not comfortable, mention it to your midwife, your doula, both of them perhaps, or like you can reach out to us, try to find somebody that you trust, because you can get help. And you're definitely not alone in the 15 to 20% of moms that experience any kind of postpartum mood or anxiety disorder. So I just want to mention that. Okay. Adapt, bond, and conquer. After your baby is born, bonding over mealtime, working out, or relaxing on your deck together will turn into bonding while helping each other change the diaper pail, take the baby for a walk, or cleaning smashed food off their face or their high chair. It's just like a different level of connecting and bonding with your partner and also your baby. It's not just like the high things, the smile or the walk together or the workout or like whatever you guys used to love to do together, drinking wine on your porch, going to concerts, like those things still exist between you and your partner, hopefully in the future. But like these small things, these day-to-day tasks, changing a diaper, watching your partner change a diaper, watching your partner hold your baby, having your partner like help you figure out how to use your Moby wrap. These are the ways that we start to bond in. It's like a whole new level of what we think is sexy. Like what a mom thinks is sexy is like their partner wearing the baby and cooking them breakfast and taking out the trash. Like it's true. It happens. Doing the dishes for you. But some things that you can conquer together as a team include any kind of bathing or cleaning the baby and feeding the baby. So your partner can handle a bottle, or your partner can help you if you're sitting and nursing. Like they can provide you with water and sit with you so that it doesn't feel like a solo task, but they can certainly provide a bottle if that's something that you're comfortable with. Going to appointments at the pediatrician. This oftentimes falls just on a mom, but if it's important to you that your partner be there, like talk about it and maybe that's your new form of date, is that you're both invested in your child's healthcare in this way. Spending time with other families together and taking care of each other. So asking for how you like to be taken care of and taking care of your partner, even if it's just a really small way, like I folded and put away your laundry for you, or like I put the leftovers aside for you to have for lunch tomorrow. One of the things that parenting just really forces for us is that we stop taking free time for granted because we don't have it anymore, and we learn how to make the most of every second. So maybe there's times where like you can go take a walk by yourself for 10 minutes. Like you can sit with your partner at the table for 10 minutes without somebody on you. These things, they really add up. And I find that when we're able to be grateful for them and connect over them as a team, then it fuels the whole family more. If you want to, in the comments, you're welcome to say like anything that you've noticed in your relationship already changing. If there's ways that you're already working together as a team, or perhaps working against each other as a team, it is completely normal to do that. I am guilty of it too. It's a part of relationship, and then we just have to rebalance sometimes. Okay, so going on adventures, and this mama in this picture has a beautiful wrap on with her little baby, with a bonnet on and everything. It was pretty dreamy, storybook like. Not like all new motherhood looks like, but it's really sweet and beneficial when you can get out of your house and have a little adventure with your baby. It can feel like we're on this constant schedule of feeding, changing, snuggling your baby, getting them to take a nap. Like, why aren't they falling asleep yet? Oh, they just fell asleep, so I can't go do this other thing. It's easy to forget about your life outside of your house. But once you're okay, you get the okay from your midwife or your OB, and you feel confident and okay to go out, like incorporating some small adventures into your everyday routine can be really restorative. Fresh air is so important for our mental health and for our baby's health. So just taking a walk around your neighborhood can be so healing. Feeling the sunlight and the fresh air is great for any mom, but especially if you or your partner is struggling with some depression or anxiety, anger, PTSD, anything like that related to the birth or postpartum, like that sunlight is actually going to be healing you. That fresh air is going to be vital for your brain. And it's really great for your baby's brain too. But other things, like if outdoors isn't your thing that you love to do, like going to the mall for a short trip, taking a trip to a friend or a family member's house, even if they come and see you. But if you just want to get out of the house, you can say, no, I really just want to like go do this. It can boost our confidence, and we can put on clothes that aren't pajamas. And just start to get used to being out in the world with a baby, and even little things like going to the grocery store become like an adventure. And you'll feel this sense of empowerment of like, I went to the grocery store today. I did it. Or like, I took my kids to my grandma's house and she made us lunch, and like, we went to this new environment. Or we took a walk with the dog around the park, and like it's all an adventure. So you can think already, like as part of your postpartum planning, or if you're already in the postpartum period and you want to shake things up and feel more nourished and revived as a mom, where are some places that you love to go, that the scenery revives you and that you leave feeling better than where you began, and think, how can I go there with my baby? And you might have to take a shorter trip than what you used to do before you were a mom. If you used to go to the Greenway and run 3 miles, multiple times a week, maybe that's not on your list of to-dos right away, but like maybe you can do half of the Greenway. Or maybe you can go, instead of spending a whole day out shopping, if you love to shop, maybe you can go one place. Okay. It is incredible how easy it is to forget to take care of yourself once you have a child. This is something, even as a seasoned mom, that like I have to remind myself of sometimes. So sometimes we forget to eat, drink, even go to the bathroom, brush our teeth, wash our face. It is not uncommon at all for a mom to be like, I don't know when the last time I took a shower was. Because we're so focused on our new baby and their needs, and maybe we feel like we don't have the chance. We couldn't be away from them, or we don't have the opportunity to get up and go take care of ourselves. They're going to cry, or I don't have anyone I can ask to help me with the baby for an hour or two so that I can go do this other thing that I need to do. But I'm telling you, it is vital for you and for your partner to take care of yourself in small doses. Larger doses when you can, and that time will come. But in the beginning, it's small doses. If you notice that you or your partner are feeling constantly overwhelmed or dehydrated, or you're always getting to that point that where you're so hungry that then your hunger passes and that you don't even remember that you didn't eat breakfast or lunch today until 3:00 in the afternoon, days without showering, it's important to step back if it's you and ask for what you need and take care of what you need right away. And if it's something that you notice with your partner, step in and say, I noticed that like you've pretty much stopped eating, or you are never getting enough water anymore and you're irritable all the time, or like, when's the last time that you brushed your teeth or that you took a shower? Like, sometimes we need somebody to step in and call us out, or we got to call ourselves out or call our partner out so that we can just do our basic needs. Sometimes those basic care needs really become self-care, not luxury, but self-care, because we can be mindful when we do them, and we can take a moment, even if our baby is crying, to lay your baby down and say, I hear that you're upset right now, and I love you so much, and I have to go do this for myself so that I can come back and be a better mom for you. And you go to the bathroom and you take a shower, and you cry, or you breathe, or you sit in meditation when you're able to. Some parents, when they become parents, they really get dedicated to a waking up early schedule. This doesn't always work in the beginning weeks because you're just so tired and healing from birth, but like soon after that, waking up early if your baby will sleep a little bit more, or feeding your baby, and then if they doze back off for a nap, taking that time practicing yoga or meditation or workout video, shower, a bath, reading a book for fun, whatever it is that nourishes you. And once both parents are aware and comfortable with their new routine revolving around the baby, me time needs to find its way onto the schedule. So this can be as simple as 5 minutes or 20 minutes, and eventually maybe moving towards an hour. Like, couples can trade off who gets what, but think about what your me time is and know that it is important to your own well-being. And if something is important to your well-being, it's going to benefit your baby, because we truly cannot take care of other people if we aren't taking care of ourselves. Okay, yep. Sleep when the baby sleeps. We already touched on this a little bit, but like, this isn't something really to gloss over or say like, everybody says that, but like my house is a wreck, and who's going to do the laundry, and who's going to do the dishes, who's going to let the dog out, or like I need to call my mom back. All of these things are going to creep in, and we're going to think we need to do them. I need to work when my baby sleeps, or all these ones. But let somebody else take care of the dishes if they will, especially if you have people that are coming over to bring you food or that want to visit the baby. It's so sweet and kind, but when they ask you, is there anything I can do to help you? You can let them know, oh, it would actually be super helpful if you could load the dishwasher or unload the dishwasher, or take my dog for a short walk, or whatever the things that you're feeling. I am so overwhelmed switching the laundry. I can't do this, and I desperately need to sleep. Do that. And also, if that means that you need to say, I can't have visitors coming over right now every day because feels like it's interrupting my sleep time. It's interrupting my healing time. It can be wonderful to see our friends. Some moms really want to, and some moms just feel a little overwhelmed by it. But if you want to see your friends and your family, you can say like, you can just tell them, I really want to see you, and I'm trying to prioritize my sleep. So like a 30-minute visit at this time of day is best. Let me know when you're coming so that you can then say, I'm going to plan to nap at this other time, or I'm going to stay in my pajamas and rest late into the morning so that I can then be up when a visitor comes in the afternoon. But being honest about what you need, what your feelings are, how you can prioritize sleep. So another little tip that I share with new moms all the time is that if we stay in our pajamas, we're more likely to go back to sleep. Whereas like if we put on clean clothes and we put on our makeup, then we're less likely to get back in the bed and go to sleep. And this can be tough because, especially as mom with a newborn, like it can feel so good to just take a shower and get dressed and put makeup on and like feel like this other part of ourselves. Sometimes that feels really good. But other times, if that's going to prevent you from getting the sleep that you desperately need, stay in your pajamas. That sends the signal to you and to anyone else that might come to your house that you still need to be in resting mode and that you're not really in entertaining mode at this time. So stay in your pajamas as much as you need to. And then also good sleep hygiene. So limiting caffeine, using the bed only for sleep and sex, which is not going to be happening in the first few weeks postpartum, at least. So just like respecting your sleep space as a sacred sleep space. Being mindful about what you eat. This isn't about like losing weight, really. This isn't even the time to be worrying about that at all, I believe, in the postpartum period. Your body is going through a huge transition from being pregnant to not being pregnant, to catalyzing hormones for nursing, if that's something that you're doing. And just that huge shift, it requires a lot of nourishment. It's not about losing weight. It's not about a flat belly that you just grew a baby in. That can come later if that's something that is super important to you. But for now, it's about like nourishing yourself at a mineral level, at a basic level. So after you give birth, it's likely that you've gone hours without eating anything but ice chips, if you're in the hospital, or like water. So your body's going to really need some protein, some iron. Focus on eating healthy foods and not dieting in the first few weeks. Eat wisely, But if a bite of dark chocolate is the difference between having a panic attack or being able to enjoy your baby and your existence as a mom, like, do not worry about the chocolate or about the treat that you offer yourself. So long as you are balancing your diet with whole grain foods, proteins, calcium, vegetables, fruits, things that we know deep down are good for us. So it can be really helpful for new moms to have lots of snacks on hand. And a lot of times, like, we might have to eat with one hand, or we might find that we're up with the baby in the middle of the night and suddenly we're ravenous and we really need a snack. And we don't need like a bag of potato chips or a bar of chocolate or a cookie. Even at that time, we need like a granola bar or like some yogurt and fruit, like something that's going to really, really fill us up. I remember being awake in the middle of the night. My child was maybe 3 or 4 days old, and he was still up a lot in the middle of the night because babies a lot of times are used to having that be their most active time until after they kind of get their circadian rhythm set with the daylight. And waking my husband up to say, I need you to go heat me up some chicken soup right now, because I was so hungry and I needed something that was like salty and brothy and full of protein. And I didn't want to eat a granola bar, though that is a great snack to have on hand because it's easy and quick, and you can usually eat it with one hand. But having other things too, like hummus and veggies, crackers, chicken soup, nut butters, lots of fruit, cheese, things that are going to fill you up and not make you crash from sugar. So do your best to avoid like refined carbs, white bread, sugars, because they are going to give you a bit of a crash. But keep in mind that breastfeeding burns about 20 calories for each ounce of milk. So you're going to be burning more than you were when you were pregnant. You're going to be needing more fuel, and it's really not the time to diet, but the time to just eat mindfully. Okay, get up and move. So moving as soon as is physically comfortable is really healthy for new moms, especially after a C-section. So we don't want to just dive right into like training for your next 5K or a hot yoga practice, but we do want to figure out ways to integrate short, simple walks with your baby every day. So talked about the sunlight and the fresh air already, and just that movement, it helps your body to catalyze hormones, to use them up, the ones that are floating around, that can help you feel better. And just the more that you move your body, it really helps like your fluid level balance out and you feel good from endorphins. So remember to keep it in really small increments in the beginning. I often remind moms to let their amount of postpartum bleeding be a good sign for like if they're doing too much or not, as far as physical activity, but also emotional or stressful activity too. But if you're past that point too, you can just check in with yourself. Like, there's going to come a point where you feel like pushing the limit again. But in the beginning, it's just about movement, enjoying your life, enjoying your new body as a mom now. And when you visit your doctor for your 6 to 8 week postnatal check, then that's usually when you get the green light for your routine to include something more than walking, Kegels, gentle yoga. But up for that first 6 weeks to 2 months, it's good to just like take it gentle and what feels good for you. But it can be really, really nice to take a walk with other moms. A lot of times babies will sleep and you can have some real talk with another mom friend, and it can just be really good. Okay. So don't be embarrassed however you feel. I'm going to just touch on this subject again because postpartum depression happens to the best of us. It happens to 15 to 20% of moms. You are far from alone. The chances that you have at least one, if not more, friends who have experienced this but haven't felt safe to talk about it or share it is very high. So, don't be embarrassed if you're not feeling immediately connected with your baby, if you're not feeling euphoric about the way that your birth went, if you're not feeling like you have a great sleeper or like you know how to handle your partnership now as a mom or even just your role. Like, these are all great things to talk about with other moms, with your OB or midwife, if you feel comfortable with them, with a doula. Um, And if you don't feel like talking about it, like just knowing inside of yourself that you don't have to be ashamed for not feeling great or feeling perfect or feeling blissed out all the time. I think that vision of motherhood is a lie, and it helps us all to know that that's not the way that it is. So the baby blues, again, is just the first 2 weeks, but postpartum depression lasts for longer than a few weeks, usually longer than 3 weeks, and can be absolutely debilitating if it's not addressed. And it's so um, emotionally hindering that a lot of hospitals will instruct significant others on what to look for, because sometimes we don't know what to look for in ourselves, or we might feel like I'm okay if I can just get through this one thing, or I can just do this one thing. But from the outside, our partners might be feeling like, no, she's not okay. And vice versa, if you see that in your partner. Um, a lot of times I think moms feel like, well, I'm not depressed, so I can't have postpartum depression. Or um, I love my baby, so that can't mean I have postpartum depression. Or um, I'm having this thought that's so scary to me that I couldn't dare tell anybody because they would just judge me and think I was a bad mom. So I'm just going to be quiet about it. Um, but support systems are there for you. And like I said, you're really not alone and you're not to blame. And there's support systems online, Postpartum Support International. There is a lot of, so with a group like Postpartum Support International, they can help you get connected to someone in your area that is wise in postpartum mood disorders, therapist or support group, how to talk to family members, like a local meetup, things like this. And so if you're feeling this way, like, reach out to someone, reach out to us, tell a family member. If you tell someone, I know firsthand how terrifying it is to tell someone, first of all. But also, if you tell someone and they brush you off, you're not crazy. We believe you. Tell someone else that you trust. Get the help that you need. And a lot of times you maybe don't know what you need. So if you find yourself in this position, I just want you to know that me from your past is saying, I'm here for you and you're not alone, and like, you can get through this. Okay. The last tip I want to leave you with is never compare yourself to anyone else. It is so easy to do that, especially in this day of beautiful Instagram accounts and Facebook and moms sharing their fabulous milestones, which are all wonderful and worthy of celebrating. And maybe they're sharing like how fabulous their partner is at soothing the baby, and like they just never been so in love before. If you don't feel that way, turn off the social media. Don't compare yourself, because Number one, we're all human, so nobody ever feels only good. That's just not at all realistic. There's no human that only feels ever good and only blissful and only sees beauty in their life. Everyone is different. Every baby is different. You and your partner and your baby are having your own unique transformation into parenthood, into familydom. And all that really matters is what is working well for you all in that family. And I can also say, as a birth worker for many years, that no two parents usually agree completely on one method of doing something, whether that's sleep or feeding or the best car seat even for their kid or the school to go to or the parenting style. Everyone is different. Everyone is unique, and just focus on you and your partner and your baby and what is working well for your family. That's not to say that it's not worthwhile to ask people their opinions and glean information. But if you find yourself comparing, I can about guarantee it's going to steal all of the joy out of your transformation. And it's going to be hard enough. The transformation is going to be hard enough as it is. So like, you want to keep the joy in there, the little bits that you have, because they're going to like help you power through long nights and difficult days. And you want that joy and that gratitude. That's your gift. And so don't steal it from yourself by comparing it to how somebody else's postpartum body looks awesome and they're wearing a bikini and you are hardly getting out of your pajamas. Like, keep taking your walks with your baby and snuggle your baby and rub on your belly that grew your baby and love yourself, or whatever the thing might be. We all have them. There's more than one way to raise happy, healthy children. And there's more than one way to be a happy, healthy mom. Trust your instincts. They're in there, and you are the expert on your child. It's true. You are the expert on your child. Okay, mamas and papas, this concludes our Simplify Motherhood webinar, but the education is never really going to stop. As long as you are a parent, you are on a lifelong journey of learning. And just as long as you stay open to learning something new, your child is going to continue to teach you. Your own instincts, your own family dynamic is going to continue to teach you. So if you have any questions or other tips that you would like to share in the chat about what helps you, what things you really want to focus on and prepare for in motherhood, please leave them in the questions. I'm going to look at that right before I go. And welcome to the Mom Club or the Dad Club. Thank you so much for being here. I really am honored to get to present this information to you, and I am excited for your new journey in life. Please reach out to us at Country Doulas or anyone in your community that you trust. It's so important to have people around you that you trust as you become a new mom. Okay, I am going to flip my screen back so I can see if there is any questions or anything like that. Oh, great. Thank you so much, Kayla, and everyone else. I hope you have a great night.